Hello and welcome to Studio 831. I'm Bill Workman and I have with me a very special guest today. He's from the University Police Department. His name is Lieutenant Earl Lawson. Lieutenant, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Bill. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, it's good to see you here. So, Lieutenant, how long have you been with the UPD so far?
I've been here on this campus since, well, I moved here Christmas in '94, so since the beginning, the very beginning, when this campus first opened. Wow. Or actually just prior to it opening, if you count opening, bringing students on campus.
Wow, and you've been here since then?
I have.
And you've seen the campus change?
The campus has changed huge. It's really developed. When we first came here, there were guards on the gates and abandoned buildings and a few occupants in the apartments, and clearly it's come a long, long way as it's really developed.
Yeah. Before then, were there any other forces you worked with outside of the school?
Well, I worked at Cal Poly Pomona for a few years, for about 5 years as an intern, CSO, dispatcher, and then ultimately a police officer before I transferred up here.
And what interested you in this area?
Just what interests everybody in Monterey Bay. It's a beautiful area. It's a nice place to be. I was working at Pomona at the time and living in Diamond Bar, and 10 minutes from work, it took me an hour to get to work some days. There's traffic and smog, and I consider myself an escapee. It's the most beautiful place in California.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. How would you differentiate a UPD system to a outside city police department? What are the differences?
You know, legal authority is pretty much the same. I think probably the biggest difference is the clientele and the expectation for service. University wants, and frankly it needs, more service than municipal or county agencies probably able to provide to its community.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what point is the UPD a priority for the leaders of the school? Is it up there pretty high?
Well, I think if you're talking about the safety of the community and the safety of students and the general well-being of the community, I would say that's very high. The police department plays a critical role in the operation of the university. If it's not safe, people aren't going to come, and if people don't come, the university just won't be successful.
Officer Lawson, when you're on patrol, what is your top priority?
Our top priority is keeping the community safe, keeping the campus safe, being a visual deterrent to crime, and basically providing that service and that safety to the people, not just the students, faculty, staff, but the community and the surrounding community as a whole.
Yeah. What are the most common legal issues that you face when touring campus in search of crime?
Well, you know, we had a lot of drug and alcohol violations on campus, occasional domestic violence. A lot of what we do is assisting the public with unlocking their offices, providing mental health referrals, showing up when nobody else is on to take care of problems, you know, referring maintenance issues. I'd say that probably the overriding factor for us and criminally is the drug and alcohol violations.
What is the most common drug that you've arrested people for on campus?
The most common drug on campus is definitely marijuana. If you want to consider alcohol a drug, and some people do, then alcohol would be number one.
How have the legal issues of marijuana changed over the years since starting in 1994?
Well, you know, a lot of people are confused as to whether marijuana is even illegal or not, but it is technically still illegal to possess and illegal to have on campus. Even people with medicinal marijuana prescriptions are not allowed to smoke that on campus. It's a violation civilly of the lease agreement and the Student Conduct Code, and it's also a violation of the Welfare and Institutions Code to smoke it on campus. I think a lot of people get confused by the marijuana violations.
Personally, what do you think is the biggest problem on campus, Lieutenant Lawson?
I'm going to have to say alcohol, because it seems like so many of our other problems are related to alcohol. Vandalism, parties, date rape or acquaintance rape. Many of the other crimes that we see come through our office are related to alcohol. They start with, I was really drunk, or we had too much to drink and this occurred. And I see, you know, littering and crimes of opportunity, like parties, people's property are stolen or cars get broken into. These aren't necessarily things people would do in their better judgment, and I think alcohol plays a huge contributing factor to that.
We were actually lucky enough to ride along with an officer with the UPD over Cinco de Mayo weekend to see some of the common legal occurrences that take place on CSUMB campus. And yes, we brought a camera.
So again, brother. No, he hasn't been here all night.
No, he's your buddy though, so I thought it smells like possession of less than an ounce is a misdemeanor.
Yeah, no button. Broke off over there.
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head how much this is, but it's going to be less than an ounce.
Copper wiring is now gone.
Yeah. Lieutenant Lawson, did that seem like an average night for you?
I think some of the things that you saw in that video are pretty common occurrences on campus. We make a lot of contacts with the public, make a lot of traffic stops, let people know we're here. Visibility is critical in deterring crimes of opportunity. We paint the cars black and white, they look like Shamu. It's not to sneak up on people. And so they'll see the police cars and they'll see the presence here on campus, and we want them to know when they drive through campus that that law enforcement presence is here. Some of the other occurrences that you saw in the video include just getting out on foot, walking around areas of parties where people set alcohol down. You know, full bottles of beer don't occur naturally, so we want to pour those out. Clearly someone was consuming that who probably shouldn't have had it. And commercial burglaries. There's a lot of buildings on campus that are vacant and a lot of recyclable materials. Get a lot of folks that come here to prey on those buildings, and we try to deter that as much as possible. And then I think you saw someone in a residential hall with the possession of marijuana. We get a lot of calls like that where the smell permeates into the hallway, and they call us out to check it out, and we take a little bit of that away from people. That's a pretty common weekend night patrol shift right there.
The thieving of the materials in the abandoned buildings, have you caught people sneaking in there to recycle personally?
Yes, I have, and yes, we have as a police department. A lot of the buildings are made of, you know, they have copper downspouts and copper drain pipes and copper wire, and I'm not sure why there's so much copper in the building. It seems like a more rare metal now, but maybe they couldn't make tanks out of it during World War II or something. I don't know what the reason is, but those folks that come out here to take those recyclable materials, we go out there, we kind of know their pattern, we kind of know their vehicles, and we make contact with them, and a lot of times we end up arresting them. Our fear is when they run out of that, or that, you know, other opportunities present themselves, they see an open door while they're on campus, or they see an opportunity, students are out walking around, stumble into them, or maybe they just progress to greater crimes on campus. And so clearly it's a priority for us.
How lucrative do you think it is for these recyclers? How much money do you think they're making off this copper?
We actually caught a burglar who was pretty talkative, and he had said that he had made somewhere in the ballpark of $2,000 over the course of a month, taking recycled materials to the recycling center, which isn't a ton of money, but they're not paying taxes on it, and they're stealing it from the university. And eventually the university will use that, the recyclable worth of those materials in negotiations for contracts to say take those buildings down and or construct